I'm Andy Gravatt, and I'm a professor of practice. So I worked at NASA for most of my career. Did a little stint out in dot-coms working, building systems back in 98, 99. But most of the time I was at NASA doing system engineering and software engineering. And back in 2000, a friend of mine worked over at Eisenhower and invited me to go on their field trip, their study to up to Gettysburg. And that day I met a lot of students, hung out at Gettysburg all day, found a lot of people that were kindred spirits and thought the students were fantastic. So at that time I wanted to get a job here, and it only took me about 8 years. So I teach in a lot of different courses. My background's generally acquisition and project management and technology. And so I teach in IT project management, IT project leadership, and web-enabled government, emerging technologies, this course, data management strategies. So data is becoming more and more important all the time. And this course includes all aspects of data management, security, how databases work, data analytics, data visualization, and how the government's using data. And so those are the major topics that we're covering. But it's to give a general overview of data for the students. And it's all at a managerial level. That's important too. Keeping up with technologies. That is a really tough thing to do. So when you're doing acquisition in general, acquisition pretty much stays the same. I mean, there's a few laws change here or there over the years, but the lessons can stay pretty consistent. With technology, every time you teach them, you've got to research them, to keep up. And so that makes things like emerging technology class and a lot of the technology in the DMS class, pretty difficult to keep up with. But it's fun. I would say that right now, what is happening with artificial intelligence is probably the most intriguing thing. When I was an undergrad, I minored in artificial intelligence in my computer science degree. And we believed, all the professors kept telling us how quickly artificial intelligence would take over. And I think we went about 20 good years there, to date myself, about 20 years before things really started clicking in artificial intelligence. But now they're really moving out. And with things like Watson, being able to win at Jeopardy, that's a stunning, capability. Even a little more stunning is computers beating, the great Go players, the professional Go players. It's a fascinating thing because of all the permutations and the strategy involved. So I think we'll be talking to our computers and getting responses back to sound pretty normal pretty soon. We're getting very close. Well, when it comes to data management, so that's the topic we're in, we're at a very, the opening phase, the opening round. A lot of money's being spent in, data management. And yet I'm not sure we know what the requirements are and where we're trying to go with it. And so I think a big thing in the next couple of years in the government is to realize how powerful the tools are and then finding a way we can actually use them. Having to dig in and find out what our requirements are. Because just handing a bunch of money to contractors to build things, might not get us where we need to go.